Hello YouTube viewers. Today's video is all about raising investment for your business idea. You might have seen recently in one of the videos I spoke about, and I put out a post that I'm always looking to invest in interesting things, businesses, concepts, and to send me obviously anything you think might be interesting to me, and I might respond to you. And I obviously got, I think it was 160 different emails, different ideas from people. So I'm going to just explain the process. If you're out there right now and you're, say, working for yourself and you need some funding, if you're working for someone else and you think about going out to work for yourself, and again, you need funding to do that and the banks won't take a bet on you, sometimes you've got to go down the route of getting a private investor involved in your business. So as an example, I had a lot of emails, a lot of people respond and send in, whittled it down to 3, now it's whittled down to 1, which is sometimes how it happens. You know, statistically speaking, I'd say probably less than 1% of ideas that get sent to investors get picked up on or get invested in by the time you go through the period of studying what the business is, then the due diligence period, then making a deal or making an offer and going from there. So right now it's down to 1, and that's an interesting one as well. I think it's tech based, and I'm going to go into that a little bit further, and if it's interesting enough, I'll definitely take the plunge and invest some money. I'm fortunate to be in a position where I have funds available, so if something interesting comes along, I can raise whatever's needed to put into it. We're not talking millions, sometimes we're talking hundreds of thousands of pounds. If it was a really exciting project, then I could definitely find 7 figures to also invest. So, and this is obviously a unique way to try and invest in other people's businesses, going down the YouTube route or going down the social media route. But again, it's a project I wanted to take on, and I wanted to see what it was like. So to give you an example, the do's and don'ts when you're looking to raise money, or you're looking for an investor, or you're looking for a partner. When you send in an idea to somebody like me, and you want me to invest in your business or to invest in you, here's some key things that you need to consider and you need to approach. In your intro email, obviously explain about yourself, talk about your own background, give a little bio on yourself. Ensure obviously the business plan is top notch. Don't just send an email to say, I've got this great idea, I've got a wonderful product, I've got a wonderful this, a wonderful that. If you want to know more, ring me, let's get together. No disrespect, but I haven't got time to be ringing people, to be chasing people, to find out more. If you want to pin, and I tend to delete those emails. I don't respond to everybody because you just don't have time to respond to everyone. This is business, this is the real world. If you want to pique my attention, my interest and whatever else, put everything in detail, put a business plan and a proposal together, put a bio on yourself in there. Most importantly in everything is put the numbers in. Give financial information, put numbers in on what you want. If you're looking for 200 grand, say you want 200 grand. Explain where the 200 grand is going to be spent. Put an offer in on what you're offering, equity in the business wise, or it's just a loan and you want a return, you're willing to give a return to the investor on the loan, but it needs to be detailed. Obviously be polite in your approach, but try and put as much in there as you can. I understand people think, well, let's just send an intro in, and if he likes the intro, he'll get back to us. A lot of the time, investors won't bother getting back to you, because if it's not interesting, if it doesn't catch you within the first couple of minutes of reading something, you move on. Now, in fairness, a lot of people did send me PDF project information on where they want, what they wanted the money for, describing their business, going into great detail. Some of them were 20, 30 pages long. They lost my attention very quickly. Sometimes I went right to the end of the document. If it's really interesting, I'll go back through it and I'll read it, I'll print it off, I'll go into detail. And then often enough what I'll do is I'll come back with questions. I'll hit you up. I'll say, thank you very much for the approach. Here are my questions. If the questions are answered and I'm interested, the next step will be I will meet with you. So if I'm in the UK and there's someone in the UK who wants investment, I'll schedule a meeting. We'll get together and we'll go into a bit more detail. Sometimes I'll say, I've got 5-6 questions I want answered. Come back to me with those, then we'll have the meeting. If we do meet, I can then gauge you, you can gauge me, and we'll get into a little bit more detail. We'll analyze a little bit more together, and I can suss you out, and you suss me out, and then possibly I'll make an offer. That's how it works. If you're lucky enough, and that's not an arrogant thing, but if you're lucky enough to sit in front of somebody with money, and you want their money, these are the steps you have to take. So it's important to always realize that. I understand everyone who has their own business or their own idea thinks it's the best in the world. And at the end of the day, they'll be lucky, the investor will be lucky to get involved. It doesn't work like that in the real world. No matter how good the idea is, if you need help, you need to follow certain steps to get the help. I'll give you an example. Somebody piqued my interest the other day. It was a simple real estate deal. They sent me an email a little bit of a mini presentation basically on a 10 unit project. And the numbers look good. They were looking for about 300 grand. There was a decent return on it. There was about, if the project sold out, there was about 180, 190 grand to be made profit wise each, 50-50. I think they were going to put up 300. They wanted me to put up 300. So I went back and I said, look, looks decent. The numbers look like they stack up. It's in a city that's doing really well in the real estate sector in the UK. Send me more details. Get into the financials a bit more with me. And are we looking at here? Are we going to go 50-50 on this? Anyway, the person came back to me eventually and they said, no, I was looking for your money and then I'll give you a 5% return at the end when everything's sold out. And if I can't give you the 5% back, I'll pay you X amount per month. And at that stage, it's like, no, stop. No disrespect. I can earn 5% myself. I don't need to go down that route. If it's a straight out, I need money to invest in a business 50-50. You're putting up some, I'm putting up some, we'll do it together and there's a decent return, I'm all in. But at that stage, I just stopped. And I didn't want to be rude to the person either. I obviously responded and said, look, I wish you well. Good luck with it. Not for me, not interested enough. 5% doesn't pique anyone's interest. Putting 300 grand of their money in, to make 15 grand or whatever else. No, again, not being arrogant. That's just me being blunt and honest. Person then came back and was like, well, tell me, any advice, any this. But at that stage, I've moved on. Mentally, I've moved on to the next email, to the next opportunity, my normal work stuff. That's what happens. So if you happen to get an investor hooked in somehow that they respond to you, they're interested, you've got to keep them at the table somehow or another, but don't lose them. So again, be realistic in your objectives. If you want money to do something, bear in mind people you're asking money from are usually wealthy people. If you're offering things like 3, 4, 5 or 6% or whatever return on their money, it's not really going to get them to stay at the table. So that's really important to understand. Be honest, be clear, be concise, be direct if you have to. It's all about the numbers. Investors are only interested in one thing, their pocket. That's it, bottom line. They want to give you 100 grand or £1 million. They want to know they're going to get it back and they're going to make a return. So they're the important things to remember. And if you're going to give up equity in your business, again, don't go in low and value your business, a business concept you've got and suddenly value it at 20 million and you're offering 5% and you need £1 million. Another thing I had was another interesting one, but it broke down when I went into the financials. They wanted 500 grand off me. I went into the financials and the 500 grand was being spent on 200 grand on a CEO, 100 grand on a COO, and of course, that person was going to be the CEO and their friend, family member, was going to be the COO. So my money's eaten up straight away on staff members that are already there running the business. That doesn't work. Nobody's going to invest in a business where you're taking all the money and just increasing salaries and paying yourself. What difference is that actually going to make to the business? I've had other people as well come in and I've gone back to them and they haven't answered my emails. So I've gone back after they've asked for money. I've responded with a few questions, simple questions, and it's been 5-6 days and suddenly I'll get a response. At that stage, I don't even respond to them because if you need money off somebody to invest in your business, you need to invest in you. Being quick, being efficient, responding, and being on point is really, really important. Straight away, I know the type of person they are doing business with. If somebody's going to take 5 days to respond when they want you, they want your money and they want your help, what are they going to be like as business partners? So that's a big no-no for me. You want money, put the time in and be efficient in your response. What I want to do, obviously, is I'm interested in anything. Obviously, listen, tech, that's something, if you've got the next big tech thing or whatever else out there, you're the next Amazon or you're the next Apple, please send me, I doubt you're going to be sending me your proposals, you'll be in Silicon Valley. But you never know, you could be an inventor at home, you could be somebody that's quite clever, great intelligence, but you just don't have the business savvy needed to move it to the next level, and you don't have the deep pockets to move it to the next level. So again, I don't care if you're sitting in your living room at home, working from home, and you've invented something, you've patented it, put it together, put a proposal together, hit me up. My email is realdarraghmacanthony@gmail.com. Go through the video, listen to what I've said, and send over your ideas like that. Don't stalk me with just emails saying, I've got a great idea, can you get back to me? I'm not going to respond, I'm sorry. And obviously don't troll me either, because that'll just go straight into the bin. But I am, looking to reach out and work with people and partner up with people. So that's where I'm coming from an investment perspective. Don't take things personally either. Too many people, because they're so involved in it's their business, it's their baby, it's their product, they take everything personally. So when you offer advice or you say this or that or whatever and they don't agree with it, they snap back and they don't quite. When you're looking for money, sometimes you're at other people's mercy. and sometimes you have to keep an open mind. All right, I've always said an open mind is like a parachute. If it's not open, it won't work. So that's something else to bear in mind. And make sure, don't lie. Don't try and hype it up too much, and if you can't back it up, there's no point in bullshitting an investor, because you might get to a stage where they make an offer, they do a deal, you're on that cusp of getting the investment, it's going to go through due diligence. I have lawyers in the UK. The first thing I would do if I do a deal with anyone is put it to my lawyers to go through it, the nuts and bolts of it, A to Z, sniff it out, and look for any holes, and they will find the holes. That's what they're paid to do. So the best thing you can be is really transparent. If the business is losing money, but it's still a good business and it's a good idea and it needs a bit of funding, be honest about that. Don't try and smudge the figures. If you've got a business and it's based on contracts being signed and you've got these big contracts signed and everything else, and then it turns out the contracts are based on 30 days or 60 days or performances that you're not already meeting, again, lawyers will find out that information. So be clever about your approach and always be transparent and honest, because we respect honesty. Business people who invest always respect honesty more than anything else, that you can be straight with us and we'll be straight with you. What else when it comes to investing in businesses? Oh, I wanted to also talk about mentoring, because I've had a lot of people email me, and somebody the other day, a young lady who's ex-police, she's now working in sales, and she emailed me about starting a new job and was looking for me to do a bit of mentoring with her. There was another gentleman the other day, the same type of thing. He works in the health care industry. He's earning about 90 grand a year, doing really well, which is brilliant. But he wants to jump out from his job and go work for himself, which is brave when you're already earning 90 grand a year. And I commend anyone with that kind of courage and bravery. And again, looking for a bit of mentoring and meeting up. So what I've said, and with this YouTube process and what I'm doing, I will mentor people. I'm going to pick 3 or 4 individuals. So keep sending me in, if you want mentoring, give me reasons and ideas why you need mentoring. I'm going to discuss here in some of my future videos. You, the audience, and me will pick 4 people who are in the UK. I'm coming over again in May. I'm over at the moment on business, but I'll be back in May for a period of time for the summer with my family. We will pick 4 people. And what I'll do over a 4-week process is I will go and meet with them once a week. We'll have a couple of phone calls. I'll video the process. I'll hire a cameraman if I have to. We'll video the whole process and we will release some videos on mentoring, and it'd be great to get people's feedback on it. It'd be great if we could help some people as well. It's not just about investing in people's business, it's also, time is money, and I've got a lot of experience in business, whether it be in real estate, whether it's sales, marketing, whether it's in the sports industry. So I feel I can help some people who maybe are at the start of their journey, or people who are struggling on their journey and feel that, they need that little pull up, and I can do that. So I'm happy to do a bit of mentoring, and we're going to do a little mentoring series on YouTube. So most importantly for me, obviously subscribe to the channel. We're getting about 15 to 20,000 views per video, but I'd say at the moment only 15% are subscribing of people who are watching. So subscribe, which keeps the channel going and keeps my interest going, that people are actually interested in what I'm doing. I need subscribers to do that. So this isn't about money for me. This is an opportunity, obviously, to get involved a little bit more with you out there, and to people out there who maybe need a little bit of help or a bit of mentoring. I've had a few emails off other people and I've answered them. I apologize to people who don't get an answer from me. I can't answer everybody. I probably get 30, 40 emails a day. I choose a day in the week, a period of time when I can get back to people and wish them well, and give them my own thoughts on things. I've had emails from people who are struggling with addiction and stuff like that, but they're still trying to build a life for themselves, and I commend people for that, because none of us are perfect. We all have our faults, we all have our demons, and sometimes it's difficult to stay in the straight and narrow. And I'm always happy to engage and talk to anybody, no matter what mistakes you've made or issues you've got in your life. Because as I said to you, there is no such thing as perfection. We all strive to be perfect, but it just doesn't exist in the real world. I'm also going to do a little series called Leadership, and these are videos based on leaders in the business world and sports world and all different kind of industries, where I'm going to go and talk to people, spend 20, 30 minutes with them, film it and talk to them about how they started in life, what they've done with their business life, how did they get into it, how did they become a success. Because again, I think for people out there, it's always great to hear about other people's successes. It's always good to learn the do's, the don'ts, the successes, the failures. It can't always be a happy ending for lots of people. You need to know that in the real world, it isn't always a happy ending, and sometimes there's an explosion at the end of your journey, and you have to cope with that and deal with that and get on with it. So it's happened to all of us, all entrepreneurs, all people in business. We just didn't wake up and become successful straight away. We've had so many bumps along the road and so many car crashes along the road, and you know, and it just doesn't always go plain sailing. But most importantly is you have to go through that sometimes to get out the other end and become a real success. And that's important for me to get across as well. So I'll leave it there for today. This is just a short video just to discuss, obviously, you know, I have money to invest. I would like to invest in you. If you've got the right concept, the right business, the right idea, it doesn't matter what industry it is. I don't care if it's tech, if it's real estate, if it's sports based, if it's, you know, if it's dildos you're making and selling, I don't care. It doesn't matter. And I apologize for any children obviously watching this video hearing that, but it doesn't matter to me what it is, okay? If it's a money making idea, if it's a good idea, the right idea, you know, we'll get together and let's see if we can make some fun happen. And anything I invest in, I'm going to cover on this channel, whether it's a success or a failure. So that'd be interesting for people to see as well. So back to the football business for me. I'm about to have a phone call with a player and his agent, and already signing people for next season. But thank you very much for your time. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel. You'll see the subscription button in the corner. All you have to do is press subscribe and you are subscribed. Take care. Have a great day.